Allie. Join me as I show you how to do this beautiful Floral Feast necklace. It features a Czech cabochon and some daggers that are all held together by some SuperDuos and seed beads. If you need any materials, go ahead and look below the video. If you are a kit subscriber, don't worry, all the materials are in your box. So for this project, we're going to be using 2 colors of daggers in 2 sizes, and we're using 12 of each, 12 SuperDuo beads, some 15 O's to hold it all together. I have here a size 12 needle on some size 6 dragon thread, and the first thing we're going to do is take our bigger of our daggers, and we're going to create a base by adding a dagger with a 15 O between each and adding 6 of them to start. This base is going to hold in our 10mm cabochon. If you have a bigger cabochon or a Rivoli that you want to use, you can certainly do some more beads as well. Make sure that if you're starting with the dagger, that you end with a seed bead because you want 1 in each space. We have 6 of those on. We're going to drop them down to the bottom of our thread, and we're going to tie it in a knot. You want to make sure when you do tie in a knot that that seed bead stays in place next to the dagger. Sometimes it'll want to come up there, and that your beads and your knot don't go around your beads as well. And you're going to give a nice tight pull to tighten that up. And here you have your base frame. So this base frame is what our cabochon is going to sit inside of. We're using a 10mm Czech cab, and you can see that one is going to sit lovely right inside there. After going in and creating this first loop, I want you to sew through the first dagger there. And as you come out the first dagger, we're going to grab 2 of our 15 O's, followed by 1 of our SuperDuo, make sure both sides are open, and another 1 of our 15 O's. We're then going to go back through that same first dagger, and those SuperDuos will go and sit right in front. I'm going to sew through the next 15, seed bead there, through the next dagger, and I'm going to repeat this all 6 times. So 2 15s, 1 SuperDuo, oops, 2 15s, and then again back through that same dagger that your thread is coming out of from the opposite side. And if you can, wiggle your thread and needle through the next 15 and out the next dagger. Make sure all those SuperDuos and seed beads stay towards the top there, so that way we can bend them back to put our cabochon in place. Once you're done with the original row here of your SuperDuos and your 15s, you can see I kind of have my cabochon in there. You can take it out just for show. Coming out the last one of your beads that you've done, I want you to go back up through the 2 15s and that SuperDuo next to them. And the first thing we're going to do is get our cabochon in place, and then we'll go back and we're going to add some extra petals in between there. So we're going to step up right now to the second hole of our SuperDuo beads. When we step up to the second hole of the SuperDuo beads, we're going to create this little V section here. So we're going to add a total of 9 seed beads between each one of our second hole of our SuperDuos. And then we're going to pull it in even further. So right now you're just going around here adding 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Once those are added, sew into your next open second hole of your SuperDuo bead. And you can see how those 9 sit right there. And then we're going to pull them towards the interior when we put our cabochon in there. So there's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, on to the next. Go ahead and add 9 beads between each of your SuperDuo beads. It'll look like a big opening. And then we're going to get ready to plop our cabochon right in the middle there and bring these in towards the center, giving us the illusion of this nice center V. Now you can see that the row of seed beads is finished, and what I did was bring my needle and thread out through the 5th bead. So that first grouping of 9, I came out through the 5th bead. We're going to catch on to every 5th bead as we bring it into the center, and we're going to add an additional 2 beads between each one of those 5th bead, or sorry, 3 beads between each one of those 5th beads. So right now what I want you to do is take your cabochon, plop it down in the middle there, kind of wiggle it down if you need to. You're coming out of bead number 5 there. You're going to add 1, 2, and 3 more of your hematite bead. You're going to go over and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you're going to sew through the 5th bead of the next grouping of 9. Go in there, get your thread and needle, right in 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And once you get your needle through 5, which can be a little tricky, bring it right out after that 5th one, spin your project, and bring that towards the center. See how that automatically pops out there? Once again, 1, 2, and 3 beads. Come on over here, that 5th one usually will kind of stick up anyway. You'll say, yep, that's the 5th one. Sew through that 5th bead from the line of 9 and pull towards the center. You're just going to keep rotating as we pull that in and do these nice V's that are going to hold our cabochon right in place. As you go in then and add the last of your beads, you can see how they're pulling in here. And what we're going to do to tighten it up is we are going to sew through all of the 3 beads that we just added. So this time we're skipping that 5th bead from the row of 9, and we're just sewing through without adding any beads through the 3 beads around the center that we added. This will pull it in nice and tight, and then we'll get ready to add more of our petals for our floral feast here. Going in, pulling that nice and tight. And you can see, you could stop at this point if you want to. You can see how netting really responds well to the design. But we are going to have some fun adding in a lot more leaves. So now that I'm the whole way through there, and we've got our center section and our cabochon's not coming out, you can see the leaves fold back a little bit, those petals. So don't worry about that, we're going to correct that. I'm going to go through one of my center beads here, coming down along the line, and I want to come out through the SuperDuo. We're going to downgrade or sew back through that first hole of our SuperDuos. So we're coming out here. I'm going to get my needle and thread back through the first hole of the SuperDuos. We're going to decorate the second hole too, but I want to start with the bottom layer. So right here when you're next to a SuperDuo, you're going to go through the top hole of the SuperDuo, exit through there, and then you're going to go through the bottom hole of the SuperDuo. And just the SuperDuo and exit. When we're exiting through the bottom hole of the SuperDuo, here is when we're going to add our second one of our hyacinth or our orange petals, which are the bigger of the 2. So you're going to get out your hyacinth. You've got 6 more to add. And when you add these petals, what I want you to do is just put a 15-0 before each one of them and after. So you're going to take your piece here, add a 15, pick up your next hyacinth petal, add a 15, and sew over into the next SuperDuo there through the bottom or the base most piece. You can see how it adds that second layer and makes it a little bit thicker. 15, dagger 15 through the second hole of the next, or the first hole rather, of that next SuperDuo. So you're going to go ahead and continue on adding them in between each of the SuperDuos through that first hole. Once you've added your second layer here of your dagger beads, we're going to add a third layer. So the third layer is going to be these 3 by 10 millimeter daggers, and we're going to do it in a pattern of a dagger, a 15, and another dagger. I'm coming out the first of the petal that I added on here of the second layer of petals, and I'm going to go through the next one. These then will sit right in between, almost looking like they're coming out of your SuperDuo bead. So petal, 15, petal, into the next petal on the design. You're going to use a total of 12 of these petals, going in between each of the 6 that are already there. Once you have all of your daggers on there, you can see this beautiful creation. And what we want to do is make sure that as we're looking at it, that our petals sit up so we can turn it and the petals aren't flopping back. So how to do that? How to make sure those petals aren't flopping back? Basically what we need to do is push everything to the front. So we're going to add a second layer of SuperDuo beads along the back here, which is going to pull everything towards the front of the design. Coming out of your last dagger there, we're going to link in to our smaller daggers. So I want you to sew through all or both of those daggers, the first ones that you put in, and we're going to tuck our thread basically to the back. When we tuck our thread to the back, I want you to add 1, 2, and 3 11-ohs, followed by another SuperDuo bead, followed by 3 11-ohs. Now these SuperDuos, it doesn't really matter what color because you're never going to see it. And then you're scooting over through the next grouping of those smaller daggers. So you're pushing the front dagger to the front, and you have those SuperDuos going and laying along the back. Next one here, again, move that front hyacinth petal up, grab 1, 2, 3 seed beads, another one of your SuperDuo, and 1, 2, 3 seed beads into your next 2 petals in that smaller 3 by 11 size or 3 by 10 size, and out. So you just want to make sure that those front petals go towards the front, and then the SuperDuos here are actually going to fold down to the back, increasing the tension also on the back petals as well too, as we do that and push them to the center and circle. So go ahead, 2 are there, 4 more to go, adding in those SuperDuos and pushing the front petals towards the front. As you add your last one in here, you can see I'm going back through those first gray petals, through the first seed beads that I added, and out through that first hole of the SuperDuo bead that I just added. So we get that last one in place there and basically come out through the first one that we added. When I flip this over, you can see all these SuperDuos hanging out along the sides of the piece with my initial knot and thread here. We're going to step up through the SuperDuos, going into the second hole of those SuperDuos that we just added. And what we're going to do is bring them towards the back with some extra seed beads as well. So we're going to end up putting 4 seed beads between the second hole of our SuperDuos here. Once you have those 4 seed beads on your needle, you're going to sew through the next SuperDuo. That's going to bring that towards the back and take that first row of those hyacinth petals and bring them towards the front so they don't flop to the back as well. 4 seed beads go on into the next SuperDuo, bringing it toward the back of the design there. You want to make sure that that petal goes towards the front and see how these are then going towards the back, connecting. Go ahead and work around adding in those 4 seed beads between each for us to get that center row. Once you have those 4 seed beads in place, I want you to go through that one more time. What that will do is really tighten up the loop, and just sewing through it one more time is always a great idea for the front and the back of any design where you are especially having a cabochon or something that's being held in place. So 4 beads, keep going here, making sure that they sit behind my daggers. And as we get ready to do our last set of 4, then, oops, see, it always wants to go in front. Push that dagger to the front. That's why I have it kind of sitting down here. And then once that 4th seed bead goes on, go back through everything that you just sewed. So you can see my thread and needle going back through all of that design. All those petals then go to the front. This creates a nice back. And that petal now, all of those petals stay exactly in place because we've netted them to sit. So I'm going to go around this one more time, and then we're going to create our bail so we can hang it down. The other thing I wanted to show you is that you can easily connect to either side, making this a ring as well, because this would be a fantastic cocktail ring to wear for the holidays. Last thing we want to do is add a simple bail. So that way if you have your SuperDuo twine chain necklace, you can put it in there. And we're coming out, so we came out the bottom of the SuperDuos. I went around twice making sure that was nice and tight. Then stepped up on the same SuperDuo that I stepped down on and went up to the secondary hole. From here, put 35 of your 15-0 seed beads on. Go back to the design and go through bead number 4 after that. You're going to sew back through it. So you've put on 35 beads, you're going back through bead number 4 or 3. From here, 1, 2, and 3 seed beads, and then you go through the next SuperDuo through hole number 2. Simple, simple. Pull it towards the back. The thing that I like about this is you really don't see the bail. It can turn from one side to the other. If you want to do a ring, you just connect right away to the other side here. You can do right angle weave and connect the two, and you can even sew through. So if you want to do that right angle weave, you're going to go back through here, through your seed beads. We're going to reinforce, going back through here, give a nice tight pull through that SuperDuo, back up through, oops, not around your piece. Pull that out a little bit. That's where I like to always have it beading all on, like handy, to pull that thread out. Go back up through now, wiggling through those seed beads there. Back around the loop to reinforce and down. If you wanted to, you could come out the top of here, do a little bit of right angle weave and connect to this opposite side. Then again, you have those two loops going around the side of the piece and around to the ring. So you can do it as a ring, you can do it right along the back here, attaching to the back and put this pendant through, or you can have the loop to the top. So many options. I'm just gonna reinforce here, do the loop, and then we're just gonna bring the thread down close to and tie it off to finish off this beautiful, beautiful, simple pendant. Once you've got your loop there, you just cut off and burn down the extra thread, and there you have your beautiful pendant. Again, works great for a ring, could be a present topper, really has that fall feeling. And if you want to, you can put it on something like this seed beaded chain, which pulls both colors in really, really lovely. Thanks so much for joining me for this Floral Feast pendant, which again would look amazing as a ring too. So gather yours for the holidays. Remember, if you do need any materials or you want to subscribe to the Best Box Kit, go ahead and look below the video. In the description, we'll pick links there to get back to the website. As always too, don't forget to hit that subscribe button because we don't want you to miss anything here at Potomac Beads. Thanks so much, Potomac Beaders, for watching, and stay tuned for more inspirational designs.